There are two ways a quiet performer survives a loud stage. One way is shock. The other is stillness. We've seen both before. Susan Boyle walked onto a talent show stage, and in 4 minutes, the world decided who she was before she ever had time to decide for herself. Tracy Chapman walked onto some of the biggest stages on Earth and did the opposite. She stayed exactly the same and waited for the world to catch up. And now, in 2025, there's a third name standing in the space between those two futures. Stacey Leadbeatter. There isn't much written about her yet. No deep profiles. No definitive headline. Which is precisely why this moment matters. Because once the story locks in, it rarely unlocks again. Talent shows are built for volume. Big voices. Big backstories. Big reactions. They're designed to reward performances that announce themselves loudly and immediately. Quiet performers don't do that. They ask something more dangerous of the audience. Attention. And attention is fragile. That's why quiet artists often get trapped in one of two narratives. They either become a spectacle, or they become background. Susan Boyle became a spectacle. Tracy Chapman refused to. Stacey Leadbeatter walked into that same risk, without the safety net of hype, shock, or expectation. When Stacey stepped onto the AGT stage, nothing dramatic happened. No gasps, no laughter, no ironic disbelief. That matters. Susan Boyle's moment worked because the audience misjudged her first. The contrast did the heavy lifting. Stacey didn't get that advantage. She wasn't underestimated loudly. She wasn't framed as a punchline, which meant the performance had to work on its own terms. No narrative assist or viral shortcut. Just presence. And presence is harder. Susan Boyle's audition is remembered as proof that talent can come from anywhere. But that's not the whole truth. What really happened is that her reaction eclipsed her agency. The world didn't just hear her sing, it decided what her singing meant. She became a symbol, a lesson, and a punchline-turned miracle. Her voice was real, but the narrative was louder. And once that happens, the artist spends years trying to catch up to a story they didn't write. This is the hidden danger of shock-based success. You don't control what comes next. Stacey didn't flip the room. She didn't force belief through surprise, but she did something much riskier. She slowed the room down. Her first real decision wasn't vocal. It was temporal. She waited. She trusted silence. She trusted packing and trusted that if she didn't rush the audience, they would eventually meet her where she was. That's not how viral moments are built, but it is how lasting ones are. Tracy Chapman never shocked an audience. She never needed to. Her power came from consistency, the refusal to escalate. Even on the biggest stages of her career, she didn't perform bigger. She performed truer. Her songs didn't demand attention. They assumed it. And that assumption changed the room. People leaned in. They stopped multitasking. They listened. Tracy Chapman proved something rare. That restraint can scale. That quiet doesn't have to shrink when the stage grows. This is where Stacey Leadbeatter stands now. Between two outcomes. One path. Bigger notes, bigger gestures, louder emotion. A narrative built for her. The other. Control, packing, trust. A narrative that unfolds slowly. Talent shows are uncomfortable with the second path. They don't know how to package patience. So the pressure will come. To heighten. To intensify. to turn moments into moments. The question isn't whether Stacey can do that. It's whether she should. Audiences are tired. Tired of exaggerated vulnerability. Tired of manufactured arcs. Tired of being told how to feel before they've felt anything. That's why Stacey's restraint landed. Not because it was perfect, but because it was unforced. She didn't audition like someone trying to win a show. She performed like someone testing whether honesty could survive the room. And it did. There will be headlines later. There will be rankings, predictions, arguments. But before all of that, there is this moment, when nothing has hardened yet. Susan Boyle teaches us what happens when the moment becomes bigger than the artist. Tracy Chapman shows us what happens when the artist refuses to rush the moment. Stacey Leadbeatter hasn't chosen which path history will place her on. And that uncertainty is not weakness. It's a possibility. That pause before Stacey sang. That wasn't nerves. That was control. And in a world built for noise, control might be the rarest talent left.